Welcome in, NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we are talking about top trade candidates. I have 8 players that we will be going through, star players, and where they could potentially end up. Could they be on the move, leaving their current rosters before the season begins? We'll show you the list and also some backstory, some context, some numbers coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, folks, we are on the verge of getting to another milestone here at Chat Sports. 334,000 subscribers here on the channel. We need your help to reach that next milestone, though. Subscribe now for free for the latest happenings around the National Football League with daily news and rumors. We do live shows from time to time right here on the channel. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Let's start with Austin Ekeler, running back for the Los Angeles Chargers. The situation for Austin Ekeler, he is entering a year where he's about to be owed $6 million this upcoming season. And Ekeler wants an extension, as you could imagine. He would like to stay with the Los Angeles Chargers, but ultimately the Chargers said, we're not paying a veteran running back, so there was the trade request that followed after that. Austin Ekeler, still a very explosive player in this league. And you're looking at a guy in Austin Ekeler that is a dual threat, a really good runner, but also a very good receiver as well. So you get the best of both was with Austin Ekeler there. And so I'm looking at teams that are trying to find not only help in the running game, but also maybe that receiving back in the backfield as well, potentially. Maybe like the Washington Commanders could be interested in the services of Austin Ekeler. A team like Washington would make sense. What if Cincinnati moves on from Joe Mixon and needs a very good check down back for Joe Burrow? Austin Ekeler could be a good fit there. Austin Ekeler, you could pretty much plug and play into any offense with as good of a runner and good a receiver as he is. Watch out, Austin Ekeler could be a good find for somebody. Next up is Budda Baker, safety for the Arizona Cardinals. No secret, the Cardinals are in complete rebuild mode entering 2023 with a new head coach, new general manager, and their quarterback, Kyler Murray, going to be out for likely a long time, missing maybe even most of this upcoming season. DeAndre Hopkins, who we'll talk about later, we've known about the trade rumors with him, but Budda Baker's trade rumors are more recent with the trade requests that he put in. When you look at Budda Baker, this is a guy that's played incredible football over the last 4 seasons. In 2022 and 15 games played, had 111 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 7 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. Whoever makes a move for Budda Baker is looking at getting a Pro Bowl caliber safety immediately as a starter to their lineup. Now, I think every team out there is saying, if we're going to trade for a safety, we don't want to do a Jamal Adams trade like Seattle did a couple years ago and repeat that whole situation. So, Budda Baker, you have to pay him, but how much do you actually want to give up for him? Those are 2 questions that need to be asked. But Budda Baker will be a very good player for somebody out there if he ultimately moves on from Arizona. Watch out for teams that need help in the secondary. And not the teams like Baltimore or New England who are really good in their safety spots. Look for teams that are trying to find that one breakaway player to lead their defense. The Detroit-type teams in the mix for guys like Budda Baker. Name a player that will get traded before the season begins, whether it's somebody we've talked about like Austin Ekeler or Budda Baker or somebody else out there. Who comes to mind that ultimately is going to move on from the current team they're at before the season begins? It's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it while the ads play and get your votes in. Tell me one way or the other. Name a player that will get traded. Next up is Chase Young. Now, you don't have to go very far back into the hot tub time machine to the days that Chase Young was just thought of to be out of this world, right? Remember when he was the number 2 pick and that draft, he was viewed as the number 1 player in that draft as well. The hype train was real on Chase Young. And then his rookie season in Washington was just spectacular with 44 tackles, 8 sacks, 4 pass breakups. He was a Pro Bowler. He was all-rookie team, all that in a bag of chips. But then the last 2 seasons, what we've seen from Chase Young is a guy that hasn't been able to stay healthy. When he's been on the football field, he's been fine. We just haven't seen him on the football field that much. I think if you get Chase Young, if you can get him to stay healthy, there's no reason why he can't be an all-pro caliber player. But can you get him to stay healthy? That's a great question. Ultimately, I think Chase Young is going to be, his services are going to be wanted a lot of different places. You think of, teams like Chicago and Seattle right away. Those come to mind. Probably like about, a second round value of sorts. Might be 2 seconds potentially for Chase Young. Watch out. Chase Young's going to have a lot of suitors, and wherever he goes, a new contract. Devin White, the veteran linebacker from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay, start of a new era in Tampa Bay, formerly known as Tampa Bay, after Tom Brady moved on. And now you look at this organization coming off. I know that they won the division last year, but it's no secret it was a disappointing year. And if you're Devin White, you're looking for a fresh start. I know that Dallas was talked about, New England, some of these other teams were mentioned when it came to Devin White. And I know that you may be saying to yourself here, like, what do you want to give up for Devin White at this point in his career? Well, hold on a second. He's still playing very good ball. Last year in 2022, 124 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks, 5 pass breakups. The value for Devin White probably somewhere in the 3rd, 4th, maybe in 5th round range. But you're still getting a guy that's playing very good football at this point in time. Next up on the list, this might be a surprise name on our top candidate list, Ryan Tannehill, quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Now, here's the situation for Ryan Tannehill, why he might ultimately move on somewhere else. He only has 1 year remaining on his contract entering 2023. And the Titans used the first pick of the 2nd round that they had on Will Levis. And there's a lot of optimism in the Titans organization about Will Levis and hitting the reset button and moving forward with Will Levis as their guy. Ryan Tannehill, if you're the Tennessee Titans, if you are convinced you're moving on from Ryan Tannehill, if you're not going to be that good this year, which most people don't think the Titans are going to be that great, maybe now's the time to go ahead and trade off Tannehill and try to get something for him while you can. Tannehill has taken a huge step back the last couple of years. 2021 was held to 21 touchdowns and 14 picks. Last year, 13 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. There still might be somebody out there that thinks Tannehill could start from them. If you're Tennessee, you might want to go ahead and hit that reset button now and see what you can moving forward. Tampa Bay was mentioned as a possibility, although they're going with Baker Mayfield. There could be some potential suitors out there for these services. Arizona with Kyler Murray, not knowing when he could come back. Could they go with Tannehill for now? We'll see. Will Ryan Tannehill play for the Titans this season? What do you think? Y for yes, N for no. Will Ryan Tannehill make a return to Music City? Let us know in the comment section what you think. Y for yes, N for no, if Ryan Tannehill will return to the Titans or not. Got a jersey deal going on right now at chatsports.com/jersey deal, where you can get a jersey featuring your favorite player, whether that's Patrick Mahomes, maybe it's Justin Fields, maybe it's George Kittle, whoever it may be. You can get a jersey. Yes, you. I'm looking at you right there in the camera. You can get a jersey for a cheap price of $99.99. All supplies last. Whether you're a male, female, whether you want to do the 2X or the small, we have plenty of options for you, and it's a great deal. What are you waiting for? Get yours now while supplies last. Chatsports.com/jersey deal to get yours today. NFL jerseys for $99.99 right now. Chatsports.com/jersey deal. Next on our list, this is kind of an obvious name, DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins, remember his situation. We talked about how the Cardinals are kind of starting over with this organization, right? With where they're at as a team and their situation going forward. But then you factor in DeAndre Hopkins and his side of everything. with the suspension that he had last year, that voided his no-trade clause. So Arizona could trade him without needing D-Hop's approval. Now, there's a big salary that D-Hop takes on, and do you want to pay an aging veteran that much money? That's a great question. But there are still teams that are looking for that elite receiver of some sorts, whether it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe even the Baltimore Ravens have an outside shot, even though they've invested with guys like OBJ and Zay Flowers in the draft. But if you're needing receiver, DeAndre Hopkins is still available, but maybe you need to negotiate some type of lower price tag, and you probably wouldn't have to give up a high pick of some sorts at this point because of how much money you can take on. You might be able to get a deal done for a fourth-round pick. Next up is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook of the Minnesota Vikings. Dalvin Cook coming off a year where he wasn't bad, and I think that message has been misinterpreted. There are a faction of folks out there, whether it's in the mainstream media or whether it's fans out there that think that Dalvin Cook just isn't that good anymore. It's just simply not true. He had a season last year where he had over 1,100 yards and averaged close to 4.5 yards per carry with 8 touchdowns. He was solid last year, but he is not cheap. He is an expensive running back. And so, if you're Minnesota, you do not want to pay this guy, understandably so. Minnesota's got their own issues when it comes to the salary cap and the money that they have to spend there. And so, if you're the Minnesota Vikings, I think you are just looking for anything. Please, get him out of here, take him off our hands. It might end up where he ultimately gets released when it's all said and done. But I'll say this, I would be shocked, I tell you, if Dalvin Cook is back in Minnesota when it's all said and done. Any team that needs a running back, watch out. Last on the list, Zach Wilson. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You called this a star video and mentioned Zach Wilson here. Well, he's a former number 2 pick just a couple years ago of the New York Jets, Joe Namath's team and everything. Zach Wilson is a star. Whether he's a very good star, that remains to be seen. I mean, we know movies that have, some bad actors. Zach Wilson might be that guy. He hasn't shown any promise. Nothing, absolutely nothing at all throughout his young career. 15 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 55% completion percentage. He has been a bad teammate. We've heard a lot of negative stories about him in the locker room. His teammates turned on him and everything. Zach Wilson needs a reset. And maybe Zach Wilson can be a starter at some point again in the NFL, but he needs to take a slice of the humble pie and be a backup somewhere. And so here's an opportunity for somebody to take Zach Wilson, get him very cheap for a day 3 pick, a late day 3 pick of some sorts. If you have an established veteran, or if you have a guy that maybe you are sitting there and saying to yourself, we don't know if this is going to be our long-term solution potentially, this could be your fit of going with Zach Wilson on that front. I think I like the New Orleans Saints. I'm not a big fan of Derek Carr for a lot of reasons. Maybe Zach Wilson could sit behind a guy like Derek Carr or something like that and eventually have a shot to take that job. So those are some trade candidates to keep an eye on, some star players that could be moving on elsewhere. Where will Zach Wilson end up playing this season? He can't stay around New York backing up Rodgers, right? Where do you think he goes? Tell me in the comments section where he will end up. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live, talking about the NFL there. And I shall see you next time right here on NFL Daily.